Welcome back to another week of HawkTalk. Lots of things happened away from campus, Dickinson State University this last weekend, but things have changed this upcoming week. Got a lot of exciting events coming, and we're joined by Coach Schroyer, who's a large part of making one of those events happen. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Coach took time away from what I would argue is the best view on campus from your office overlooking in the BAC, overlooking the field, to be with us today. And the big thing we got coming up is the North Star Cross Country Meet is going to be hosted by Dickinson.
Yeah, we're excited to have that here this weekend. Obviously, this weekend is Saturday, November the 5th. So, the North Star, we're hosting the meet this year, which is the qualifying meet for the national championship. So, the winning teams that win both the men's and the women's races on Saturday will advance into the national championships on November 19th. So, we're excited to host that. Spent a lot of time out on the golf course. It's going to be at the Hart River Golf Course here in town. We're going to run there on the top 9 holes. So, we're encouraging everybody to come out and support us and cheer and be loud. And the race will start there on the ninth fairway, and then everybody will finish on the 3rd fairway. And basically, we kind of zigzag around there between the top 9 holes of the course. So, should be a good race. Time should be able to run pretty fast. Obviously, it's not too challenging of a course from what we've seen this year from other places that we've competed, and we're excited. The weather looks to be good too. So,
now before we get too much into that, although we gave a lot of details there, take us through. We've talked earlier in the season. You kind of break the season down into 3 different segments. Can you just kind of provide the audience an understanding of how you see the season, the different segments, and how the team has done through those up until this point?
Yeah, obviously the kids start training for the season over the summer, so what they've put in over the summer really kind of highlights what they do in the fall to an extent. It takes scientific studies have shown it takes about 27 to 30 weeks to make any type of aerobic gains to your cardiovascular system, so that's hence why summer conditioning and training is very important. But we won't go into that here. We could speak for hours on some of that stuff. But obviously summer is important. The kids come in, and then I kind of break down the season. How our training pattern is set up into 3 phases, like you said. We have kind of a general prep phase, if you want to call it, because there is some transition there from what the kids have done over the summer with what, when they come back as a team, what we'll do together as a group, and the pacing and the volume and stuff like that. So, that's depending on the length of the season. Obviously, that's the first third of the season. The second third starts into our competition phase, obviously, which is, the race, part of the season. And then, now we're in our championship phase where we want to be racing the best we can here at conference, and then, for those that can advance to nationals. So, that's broken up, like I said, into 3 phases, and we kind of set up our training and things like that accordingly.
So far this year, teams fought through, the girls' side at least, has fought through a couple different injuries. What would you say has been the biggest adversity you guys have had to deal with?
Yeah, well, in the last few years we've been challenged with our depth. Obviously, we've got 8 girls on our team, but right now 5 of them are active. Jade Sheffield came down with what was looked to be a stress fracture here right at the middle of the season. So that was a big hit for us because she's, could be anywhere from our 2nd to 4th runner at most meets. So that, that was really a big toll on our group. But we got Lisa Townsend back running for us. She didn't run the first few meets of the season because she tore her Liz Frank ligament during basketball season last year. So she's coming back from that. Obviously dealing with some changes there with her foot and whatnot, but she's raced with us. Her first race was at Jamestown, and then she actually took the last race off because Mount Marty course was pretty rough, and we didn't want her foot to be trying to be prepared then for the conference meet, so we held her out of that one. So like I said, numbers is a challenge. We're looking to obviously increase the numbers on our team because I think the depth and the strength of our team does come down to the numbers. Kind of a ball game there, obviously, with adversity and injuries and different things that, there's just a lot of things that can happen during the season. So, but, I'd say that's the biggest challenge. Everybody, for the most part, has been healthy all year. Everybody's set new PRs. The girls and the guys' teams all, really improved. If you're looking at what we did last year to this year and, the new faces we have in this year. So, I've been very pleased with that, and, where the kids are going, where our program's going. Obviously, we get more kids in here. That's only going to, compound the efforts and the success that we have, I think, so.
Now, last year, Coach Schroyer was named North Star Coach of the Year, men's and women's. Both squads captured that North Star championship. and then the guys kind of transition to a lot of new faces. How is everyone meshing from the guys' perspective?
Yeah, everybody's come together really well. That's something special I think our group has here at Dickinson State, is just how they're a team, they're a family. Everybody's very welcoming, the new faces and transfer kids that we have come in and whatnot. So, and I think that, goes a lot to do with our sport as well. But, everybody gets along well, and I think that's important when we train and when we compete, because if you got somebody lined up next to you on your team, and you're going to, if you want to call it battle or war with them and your friends, and you've gone through all the thick and the thin together, I think that's going to help you compete better as a team, obviously throughout the races. So I think that's an important component. But with all the new faces from last year, we've got 3 guys back from the 10 that we had last year. So totally new group, a lot of new faces, and but everybody's come together really well, and we've got some good talent coming in, and looking forward to track season obviously too once cross country gets finished. But we got some things here to do yet, with the cross country season here in the next 3-4 weeks. So.
Sure. Now, as we transition towards the big weekend at home, what are the advantages of hosting that conference meet?
Yeah, obviously we're familiar with the course. If it was a really hilly course and really challenging, I think we'd have a little more advantage than we do now.
Sure.
Because we have been out on the course the last few weeks, and really appreciate the efforts that the Park and Recreation district here in town has allowed us to get out there, and they've allowed us to practice out there 2 or 3 times a week as well. So really appreciate that. The kids they've got out there, they know what to expect. They've ran on it multiple times, and that's part of being comfortable with it. We've done some workouts on it as well, so they get the feel ahead of time on different segments of the course and how that's going to feel at race pace and different things. So that helps. So, there's advantages of that, obviously. The weather looks to be pretty good this weekend, and really everybody in our conference is used to the weather up in this neck of the woods. So that's shouldn't be any factor there, I don't think. So, and the course is ready to go. It's really it's groomed well. Ground's hard, so it's got potential to run pretty fast. So.
Alrighty, let's run through the fact sheets quick. Make sure everyone might have tuned in late gets all the information they didn't need to go out and support the Blue Hawks. 11 o'clock start time?
Yep, that's correct.
Men's
Mountain
first,
time.
Mountain time. Yeah, if we have anyone coming over.
Yep.
It's going to be Hart River Golf Course, the front 9, so you get to the parking lot. 9th hole, DSU golf, I got the golf part of it down. That 9th hole is that first green that you see right next to the clubhouse is where they're going to be starting.
Yep.
From there, what would you say is the best place to watch from as far as overseeing as much
Well,
as you can?
that was the purpose when I set it up, is to try to make it spectator friendly. We start on the 9th, we go out and we come back down the 3rd, and then we loop back up on the 1st hole, and then come back, around the 1st again, and then back up the 2nd hole, and then back down, the 4th and the 5th, and then we do go back along the 7th hole, which is going to be, that part won't be spectator friendly.
Sure.
unless you're willing to run over there and see the kids. But for the most part, the girls will loop through there twice, and the guys will go through that section there in the first 4 holes 3 times. So it'll be spectator friendly. Wherever you want to stand, whether it's at the finish or the start line, you're going to see them come around 2 or 3 times. So it's it'll be a good opportunity for everybody to watch and get the feel for a cross country race. So.
Alrighty, once the guys wrap up, the women will be starting shortly after, and then over at the BAC, your office, the home of your office, there's going to be a lunch buffet and a get together for the award ceremony. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll have an award ceremony there after the races. That'll be at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and there will be a lunch buffet provided as well. So anybody that wants to join us for that is welcome to. And like I said, we're excited to race, and hopefully we can defend our titles from last year. So.
Once you get done there, make your way over to Scott Gymnasium for a triple header, starting with volleyball, then women's basketball, then men's basketball. But make sure you start your day early enough to get out there. 11 o'clock, Hart River Golf Course. Yep. Best of luck, Coach.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you. We'll be back shortly and joined by some student athletes who are going to be the ones running the course that Coach Scheuer helped create. We're back on HawkTalk. It's time for the Blue Feather feature. The Blue Feather Athletic Association makes it possible for a lot of student athletes to come participate in different activities at Dickinson State University. And this week we're joined by some cross-country runners. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
I'm Amanda Wolf from Glasgow, Montana. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Tristan Guillot from Twin Bridges, Montana, and I'm also a sophomore.
All right, guys. First off, just take us through how you ended up at Dickinson State.
It was the end of my year. I was headed towards the Navy, and Coach Schroyer called me, and I really liked what he had to say, his goals for the team, his goals for the future, and so I signed without even looking at campus. I just signed on up and headed to Dickinson.
There you go. That's a lot of faith.
I came on a visit in January, I think it was, and saw the campus, met with Coach. Knew a couple of friends here, but I wasn't fully hooked on wanting to run in college, and also was like a leap of faith and just signed in April and really enjoyed it here and glad I chose Dickinson.
All right, as cross-country runners, obviously running long distances makes up a lot of your time. So at what point did you understand that that was something you enjoyed? You know, you hear a lot of athletes they hate conditioning, they hate this, they hate that about running. So when did it click for you at an early age or in high school, or that you wanted to be a runner?
Probably for me, it was in high school. My team back home had a lot of success, and we won a couple titles, and so that really made me want to get better as a team. And then coming to Dickinson, I wanted that too. You know, winning conference last year was like an extra push to wanting to keep doing it every year.
For me, it was probably my sophomore year of high school, because my freshman year I did football and cross country because we were allowed to do that. And then my sophomore year of high school, I just did cross country, and that's when I realized that I love the sport, I'm good at running, and I also love running. So.
Alrighty, what's the most annoying thing your roommate does that really gets on your nerves?
Oh my gosh! Wow.
My roommate snores really loud.
Are you in the dorms?
I'm in main campus apartments.
Okay, so still you can hear it.
Yeah.
Same. I'm in main campus apartments. Probably we just have different schedules, so I go to bed really early and they go to bed really late. That's probably one of my little pet peeves. But
all right, as cross-country runners, what's your pregame go-to meal?
I like lasagna. Like the day before.
Oh, day before. Any kind of pasta with some kind of meat in it, chicken, shrimp.
I use the carbo loading excuse quite frequently, despite the fact that I don't go out and run a 8K the next day. But all right, Coach Schroyer is still in the building, so rather than asking what gets on your nerves about Coach Schroyer, what's your favorite part about Coach Schroyer and being in his program?
My favorite thing about Coach Schroyer is he loves all his runners. He focuses on all of us. He doesn't just focus on the best ones. Yeah, that's basically it. He focuses on all of us, because there's a lot of other cross-country programs out there where you're just a number. Like, you're our number one, you're our number two. And with Coach, it's everyone. Like, he cares about all of us, because any given day, I could have a bad race, our number one could have a bad race, and the team's got to step up.
Sure.
So we're not just a number to Coach Schroyer.
I guess mine's kind of along the same lines, as he's very caring, not just as runners, but as like a person too. And also like how creative he is with his workouts. I mean, we're not just going out running on the track every day, going circles, but he has different places that we go and just different things that we do. So that's always nice.
All right, how has the season been going for you guys?
Individually or team-wise?
Both. I guess you can both provide the men's team and the women's team perspective.
Individually, it's been going good for me. I've been slowly increasing, and I've been running faster times, and felt like I've been running better. Team-wise, same. We've just been running more as a team, and this year the men's team we're all really close to each other,
Sure.
So it's helping us push each other and run more as a team.
Same for me. Individually, I've improved quite a bit. Like Coach Schroyer said, summer training is really important, and I really focused on that, and it really brought me into really good shape for the beginning of the season. So my times have improved a lot. And team-wise, it's been a little struggle just because we've lost some girls and then like to injuries and stuff, but we're really coming together and we're really ready for Saturday.
All right, let's get into Saturday a little bit. How excited are you guys to host that conference meet?
It's exciting because no one really gets to watch cross
Sure.
country, so we're trying to get everybody to come out. But it's pretty fun to get to know the course right away. So.
It's exciting for me because having friends and family there and a bunch of people rooting you on, it always helps. It just gives you that little extra push. Coach at every race, he's always there. He's screaming his head off. He's pumped up, and for me, that always makes me want to go harder. And when I want to slow down and just maintain, I push forward and push through the hurt.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who potentially has never been to a cross-country race that will be going for the first time Saturday?
Wear tennis shoes.
And get ready to run, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Get ready to run and
Be loud.
be loud.
Anything helps. Screaming, like, people always say, I don't know what to say to runners, but it's just like, if you just are there and support, that's like a lot to us, so.
I know you guys, especially Amanda, you're kind of early on in your time at Dickinson State, but not even necessarily from a cross-country perspective. What's the biggest thing you've gained from being a Blue Hawk?
I feel like that I have a lot more friends and a lot more family here. I have a lot of friends that are on different athletic teams, and like football, baseball, basketball, and I feel like that just makes a greater sense of family.
Sure.
I feel like I've grown more like maturely. You know, everyone goes to college, you figure out what you want to do, and I just feel like as a person, just that next step in college, and you really got to focus on school and running. It's not something I never really did in high school, but I mean, still focused on running, but just same with friends and family. You get a lot more closer because you live with different people and you're surrounded by the same people every day. So,
Coach Schroyer mentioned depth. Maybe a little bit of a concern. So what would you tell a potential student athlete thinking about coming and joining the cross-country team? What recruiting pitch would you give?
I would tell them that we're very welcoming, we're fun. We always hang out with each other. And I don't know, our team, I've grown to love them. They're my family. I'd do anything for them. Doesn't matter what time they call me. If they need my help, I'd be there. Same if I needed their help. It's more of a family sense instead of a, I don't know. It's basically
Sure.
a family sense
Sure.
type of a thing.
yeah, I'd say the same thing, especially with like girls. I mean, we're always together. Usually there's like, I don't know, maybe drama on other teams, but our team, there's nothing. Like, we get along perfectly fine, and that's how it's always been in my running like team. So that's what I love most about running.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you for joining us this
Thank
week.
you.
Best of luck this weekend. Hopefully
Thank you.
everyone gets out there, gets a little exercise themselves, screams their heads off, and we'll be back right after this with some other interesting guests. Welcome back to HawkTalk. We're joined by some special guests from the Dickinson State University rodeo team. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, tell you where they're from, and what activities they participate in. Go ahead, guys.
I'm Jerlyn Wiseman. I'm a sophomore from Baker, Montana, and I compete in team roping, barrels, goats, and breakaway.
Lane Berg. I am from Chaffee, North Dakota. I'm a sophomore, and I compete in bull riding and steer wrestling.
All right, we're joined by our rodeo guests because they have Cowboys and Candlelights coming up this weekend. But before we get into that and the importance of that for your guys' program, just kind of take us through the fall, how that season went, both individually and kind of as your respective teams, guys and girls.
Oh, go ahead, Lane.
The men's team is doing really great right now. We got some really good rough stock riders at the moment. Tate Schwagler, I think he's leading the region in the bareback riding, so he's doing really good. And Jordan Hunt, he's got a pretty big lead in the saddle bronc, so got some good push there. And I think I'm third in the region right now in the bull riding, so pretty solid. And then me and Garrett Holstetler, we are both got some points in the steer wrestling, so
Okay.
solid there. And Chance Glass, really good calf roper, team roper. He's got some points in both of those, so we got a solid team going right now.
Women's team, it's kind of more of a rebuilding year for us. We lost actually all of our 5 team members last year because they were seniors. So a key player for us right now is Jamie Durflinger. She's made the short going barrels at every rodeo so far. We're really proud of her. Alicia Dworshak has done extremely well in goats, made the short go a few times, and Megan Rady and myself have. And we're just looking forward to spring. We think that it'll go a lot better. We've got some strong people for us, so hopefully we start doing a little better at the rodeos and drawing right.
Sure. For folks at home aren't necessarily familiar with how the kind of structure of the rodeo schedule, take us through how it's split fall, spring, and also what regions you mentioned where you're at in the regions. Kind of talk about how that shapes things for nationals as well.
The whole region thing, you have to be top 3 in the region to make it to nationals. So you're kind of competing against everyone in your region just to get to nationals, but you're trying to be top guy in the nation type thing too. But they break up in fall and spring. They have like, I think, what is it, 6 rodeos in fall and spring?
5 and 5.
5 and 5. Okay.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
For a lot of us who aren't rodeo people ourselves might not understand how you could build up the courage to get behind the bull. So I've never had the chance to interview a bull rider. So just first off, when was the first time you rode one, and how did you kind of convince yourself and get comfortable back there?
I don't know. I started when I think I got on my first bull when I was 9 years old. My dad was a bull rider, so he kind of just showed me the ranks a little bit, and I just told myself I want to do that, be like my dad. So I don't know, just kind of kept going from there, and it's been working out. So
There you have it. How did each of you guys end up at Dickinson State?
A girl named Callie Post went to high school with me my last 2 years of high school when I moved there from Idaho, and she came here and I started off roping with her last year, and I met Udell and the previous assistant coach Jen, and I really liked them, and I thought they were both really good people, so I wanted to come here.
Sure.
I was from North Dakota, so the in-state was really a big thing, and I like Udell. Udell was a really good guy, and he's a good rough stock coach, so I figured you could learn something there too.
So fall season's wrapped up, but now the big event, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, Cowboys and Candlelight coming up this weekend. Can you guys explain that event a little bit?
Cowboys and Candlelight is going to be on November 12th at 5:30 at the Elks Club. That's basically where we get all of our scholarship money for all of us to be able to come and rodeo for Dickinson and go to school here. It's a really fun event. You can buy tickets through the Dickinson Heritage Foundation or from the Ag Department. And we start off with a prime rib dinner, and then we move on to introducing our team and our coach and explain how we're doing in the standings. And then from there, we go on to a live and silent auction, and at the end there's a dance, and you can just come for the dance as well.
Sure.
So,
When does that start, do you know?
5:30.
5:30,
Mhm.
Saturday, November 12th. Like you said, it provides money for the scholarships, but also I assume it helps with travel expenses. Talk about the difference, as a lot of athletes complain about the long bus rides, it's certainly a different way to travel for you guys. So just take us through what a typical trip is when you guys are on the road.
Well, you have to start out by, you all get split into different rigs. I think this year we only took 4, which was, talking about how we had a young team. I think last year in the fall we took 7 different rigs with up to 6 horses, or even I think Cam's might have had 8 horses in a trailer. So you start out by finding out what rig you're in, and then you have to load all of your hay, get all your horses ready, and a lot of us have to wrap our horses' legs. It takes like 10 minutes a horse probably. And then actually getting there, usually I think average drive for us is probably 10 hours.
Yeah.
A lot of us have to unload our horses and walk about every 6 hours. And then once you get there, it's not like you just get to go to your hotel room. You have to probably spend an hour to 2 hours getting your horses put away. So
No sleeping on the bus.
Yeah.
And you guys probably don't take too kindly to hearing about all the other struggles of different things. The other thing I want to make sure folks understand about how you guys compete is there's no NAI. NAI doesn't really mean anything for you guys. Talk about how it's you guys versus basically every other college rodeo team out there.
I don't know. Like, what do you mean by the whole?
It's your region, but there is no classifications as far as you guys are competing with the best of the best, and as far as the different. Kind of explain the different schools that make up the region.
Like in our region, we have Nebraska, which is like a D1 school usually, so we got those competitors too, and I don't know. There's like Oklahoma State's down south. You got all them bigger schools, so I mean, those teams are going to have a lot more kids to choose from to fill their team. So, I don't know, just got to – we can do it. I mean, the talent we have up here is pretty good too, so.
Sure, and those schools probably have a larger pool financially to draw from. So something like Cowboys and Candlelight is obviously very important for making sure that you guys can do what it takes to even get to the rodeos, and then once you're there, compete. But thank you guys very much for joining us this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on another week of Hawk Talk. We told you about a lot of exciting things happening on campus. Just to recap, 11 o'clock is when that cross-country meet's going to start, 2 o'clock volleyball, and then basketball to follow at Scott Gymnasium. If you'd like to purchase Cowboy and Candlelight tickets, visit DSU Heritage Foundation website and DSUBlueHawks.com to find out all about DSU athletics. Thanks for joining us this week.